right, here we go. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is your friendly neighborhood reporter, Mike, from someone'sbones.com, bringing you the latest and greatest Nibiru news and information going on in the world today. To start, I have received a lot of complaints saying that I spend too much time rambling on before the story. So, story first, and then I will offer my commentary and include any thoughts that I have regarding worldly news. You don't want to hear me? That's great. You can read the story at www.someone'sbones.com. And the headline reads, Pediatric patient demands that Donald Trump acknowledge Nibiru cover-up. And the story. On Wednesday, a psychiatric patient at New York City's Bellevue Psychiatric Hospital was nearly shot dead after escaping his restraints, taking a hostage, and making unusual demands on the medical staff. Around noon, hospital orderlies had escorted Parker Stevenson, age 47, from the hospital cafeteria to his room on Bellevue's C Wing, home to some of the world's psychologically damaged individuals. A diagnosed schizophrenic with a proclivity for violent outbursts, Stevenson lived much of his institutionalized life in a straitjacket. According to our New York source, whose information has been corroborated by eyewitness testimony, Stevenson subdued a hospital worker with a plastic fork he had stolen from the cafeteria. He barricaded himself and a hostage in a utility closet and demanded to see either President Trump or Chief Strategist Stephen K. Bannon, both of whom Stevenson said had the ability to send him home. Staff psychiatrist Dr. James Watts intervened, asking Stevenson where he thought home was. "Doc, what are you talking about?" Stevenson allegedly replied. "You know damn well where I'm from. Nibiru." Our source said the following. With the exception of the doctor, the staff had no idea what he was on about. They had properly administered his medication, haloperidol and halcyon, just before the incident. Stevenson went berserk, screaming this and that about Nibiru and Trump. He seemed convinced that the United States had in its military arsenal an interstellar spacecraft that could whisk him home to Nibiru. Then Stevenson began rambling on about the planet to the staff. Stevenson explained he had been hatched from a golden egg on Nibiru, said to be one of 7 planets belonging to a solar system that crosses Earth's path every 3,600 years. At the young age of 674, he said, his intergalactic spaceship malfunctioned and crash-landed on Earth, separating him from his Anunnaki brethren. He escaped the crash unharmed, but said that the United States government confiscated his ship and has been trying to discover its secrets for nearly 30 years. Dr. Watts attempted to pacify patient Stevenson. "Why do you want to see President Trump?" Watts asked. "Why are you provoking me, Doc?" Stevenson asked, inching the plastic fork closer to the hostage's throat. "You know all this. I want Trump to send me home. I want him to tell the world about Nibiru. I want him to tell the world what Nibiru really is." Fearing possible casualties, Dr. Watts telephoned the White House, explained the situation, and asked to speak with President Trump. Unfortunately, the White House operator said that Trump was indisposed, currently contemplating war with Mexico because of some bad hombres. Instead, she offered to send Defense Secretary James Mad Dog Mattis for third-party arbitration. We can quote our source verbatim. That proposal sent Stevenson into an outrage. Stevenson lashed out at Dr. Watts. Stevenson started screaming, "No! Not him! Not that piece of shit neocon trying to hide the Nibiru truth!" Stevenson threatened to immolate himself and his hostage using a can of turpentine found in the closet, unless Trump or an approved surrogate responded immediately to his concerns. He would agree to only one person other than Trump himself. That person, our source said, was Trump's liberal chief strategist Stephen K. Bannon. If all information is accurate, a military helicopter transported Bannon to Bellevue's rooftop helipad. 4 heavily armed Secret Service agents escorted him to the scene of the crime. "If you release the hostage, we can discuss the Nibiru truth," Bannon told him. "Donald understands what you're going through. So do I." An eyewitness, a hospital janitor named Herbert Allen, provided additional testimony. "Man, it was about to get crazy," Allen told our source. At first Stevenson was frustrated at Bannon, shouting, "Why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken me?" while waving his free arm in the air. Then I noticed something strange, something very strange. When Bannon blinked, his eyelids slid from side to side, not up and down. Creeped me out pretty good. The Secret Service guys must have thought Stevenson was going to leap at Bannon, 'cause they drew their weapons, but Bannon waved them off. "There is no need for that," Bannon said to the agents, then turned his attention toward Stevenson. "Son, we're here for you now. Let the hostage go." "Prove to me you're the real Steve Bannon. Prove to me you're not an imposter," Stevenson shouted. Bannon began speaking in tongues, in a language only Stevenson seemed to understand, our source said. Stevenson fell to his knees and dropped his plastic fork. He gazed up at Bannon and asked, "Will you take me to him now?" A question to which Bannon allegedly replied, "I am in charge now. I have taken care of everything." Bannon, the report concludes, took custody of patient Stevenson. They were last seen departing in the helicopter, heading south by southwest. End of story. Before anybody discards this as crazy rubbish, keep in mind that a few weeks ago, Harvard-educated psychiatrist Dr. Patricia Wallace argued before the Center for Disease Control that a condition she calls Nibiru addiction is a real disease afflicting a growing number of people and could eventually become a national or international pandemic. Personally, I am not drawing any conclusion regarding Parker Stevenson. Could he be insane? Sure. Could he really be a descendant of Nibiru? Sure. Why not? Anything is possible in today's world. There is enough anecdotal evidence proving Nibiru's existence. As to whether it is actually inhabited by a sentient race of giants, I have no fucking clue. I simply provide news and information that I have sourced from credible people who are experts in their field of study. Psychiatrists, doctors, scientists, astronomers, whatever. I have done my best as a journalist to get and gather information to provide to people so that they can evaluate the information and draw their own conclusions as to what might be true and what might be false. I'm going to bring this to a close. I hope everybody here has a great weekend. Keep an open mind. Remember, as the late great patriot William Cooper once said, read everything, listen to everything, believe nothing until you can prove it for yourself. This is Michael from Someone's Bones. That's www.someonesbones.com. Signing out, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.